is my man Bubba, who I asked to call in and be the voice of the angry fan. Because, man, I'm looking at this going, sure, it's fine. But you and everyone else I know who's blowing up my phone right now is pissed. So explain to me your unhappiness with this decision. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to understand.
I guess the way I would start it is, to me, this is an extremely lazy way to treat the best player that may have ever played the position at quarterback. You literally watched a guy take the MVP, which I guess you could say was under his tutelage, but it really wasn't. Anybody with any football knowledge would know that Josh Allen really carried that horrible play calling, and most of the things that was successful in that offense were predicated on Josh Allen making a play, or being desperate and making a play, or feeding the running game. Not being able to scheme wide receivers open, was a crutch for 2 straight years. And then obviously front office not addressing weapons can be all factored into McDermott being fired. But at the end of the day, what winning organization would promote from a head coaching staff that they just fired? How does that calculate to winning when the philosophies that were in-house already were obviously broken and contributed to you losing in the playoffs? So you are promoting from losing. Just like when McDermott and Bean should have been fired after 13 seconds. Any winning organization does not give contract extensions to people who fail. So anybody who thought McDermott should have been kept, look at who's playing in the Super Bowl. Look at the quarterbacks. Yet we couldn't get Josh Allen there in 8 years. I mean, guys, you can't reward failure. Failure is something that Buffalo is so used to, and we get a good feeling guy who we have to give credit to in McDermott, who changed the culture. He came in and, changed the Rex Ryan, Doug Marrone joke that was here that everyone knew would be a joke when they hired him. He came in and righted the ship, but let's face it, all of the success of Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane, Joe Brady, Brian Daboll, Ken Dorsey, all of it is Josh Allen. Brandon Beane is relevant because of Josh Allen. He made one good move in the draft, moving up for Josh Allen and taking him. And I guess that got him president. But after that has been one failure after the other in the first 3 rounds, with the exception of James Cook. So why everyone's mad about Joe Brady? His offense is terrible. It exposed Josh Allen to injury. He is now going into the second part of his prime, and you exposed him to 40 sacks or more and countless hits because he had to hold the ball because none of your receivers could get open. And when everybody knows in the entire NFL that you run the ball up the middle every first down, then you really only have to play defense for 2 downs. And if you take out James Cook and you take out Josh Allen, you stop the Buffalo Bills. Well, now that's your new head coach. So what are his philosophies now going to change on how to protect his franchise quarterback when he's the reason that Josh Allen is going to be having foot surgery? He's the reason Josh Allen had a broken hand last year. Like, these are just common sense things. You're promoting from a losing team. Enough said right there.
Are you making an assumption, though, that everyone there is responsible? Like, do you blow out the entire staff and start over when you've made the playoffs 8 or whatever it is, 7 consecutive years, and you've won 5 division titles, and you were pretty close this year to winning it again, and you made the playoffs again, and you've won it, into the second round of the playoffs each of the last 6 years? Like, all that stuff is not abject failure. It's not quite getting over the top, and that to me doesn't mean everyone's got to go. You've got very specific things that you're attributing to Joe Brady. I mean, you're pointing, and I love it. You're pointing at, you're going to blame a hand injury on the guy who was the offensive coordinator, and then say that means he can't be a head coach. I think it's 2 different jobs. I think that's part of what you're hearing with Daboll too. Like, I wouldn't feel super comfortable with Daboll stepping in as a head coach, but I would feel comfortable with him as the offensive coordinator. And maybe they say, hey, Brady's more of an organized kind of CEO type.
The Daboll situation, you're dealing with an ego. He doesn't want to be a offensive coordinator. He wants to be a head coach. And I'll backtrack on the Brady thing. The reason I pointed out the hand injury is because when you have such a basic offense that all you can do on 3rd and 1 is do a tush push every single time and have absolutely no creativity, you are
And always
exposing your
left.
quarterback, right? And you're exposing your quarterback to needless hits in games that may or may not matter. So eventually, once you could be 6'8", 400 pounds at quarterback, but if you get hit with a helmet on your hand 55 times a season, once it's going to break.
Sure.
Eventually. And you're exposing him to those hits because you have absolutely no creativity. When you're running this offense, you watch all of this motion and misdirection to throw a 2-yard pass. When the linebackers are now built like safeties and safeties are now unworldly athletes, you're not going to score that way unless your quarterback is willing you down the field. And that means holding the ball, waiting for guys to get open, holding the ball, waiting for some concept to throw a 2-yard screen while taking a clean shot from a defensive tackle. That's all schematic, Brad. That's all coming from Joe Brady. He looked at that offense, looked at the best quarterback in the NFL and said, you know what? We should run the ball two to three times every series and throw a 2-yard pass with a guy that can throw the ball 80 yards. We should never give him a receiver who runs a 4-3. We should never give him receivers who know how to get open downfield. We should give him 2 tight ends. This is called the 1985 Bears offense. 2 tight end, power football, expose into the flats. Simple defense. All you have to do is spy Allen and literally keep your safeties deep and bring everybody up anytime they throw in the flats. That's what you watched us get stuffed on over and over until Josh Allen willed us down the field and made plays that no one else can make. That's the success of the offense. Daboll was successful because he used Josh Allen's talents and told him, go out there and play Josh Allen football under control. Look at what happened, 5,000 yards receiving, MVP candidate every single year. We moved the ball on every single team. But what failed us? McDermott and his defense. Every single playoff run, we put up 30 points and still lost.
Yep.
That's defense. That's not on the offense. So McDermott can fuck off. Brady can fuck off. I guess you could bring Daboll back as an offensive coordinator, but not when Brady is the helm. They're completely 2 different contradicting offenses. They're not going to work under the same roof. So, I mean, this is just a bad move because you're going to have Brady's offense again exposing a 30-year-old quarterback to 40 sacks.
All right. So what I'm hearing here is that if I'm right and that Daboll is the offensive coordinator and it's not Brady's offense, it's Brady's team, but he's got a sense of how to deal with Josh, and then Daboll comes back with the offense and we're throwing out whatever's been going on the last couple of years since Daboll went to the Giants, you're going to have a little bit of a change of heart, but you just don't believe that's going to happen. So we're going to talk to you again. Why have I not had you on before? I mean, we have these conversations.
I'm too busy coaching your kid in baseball.
I know, but I need you for the football stuff. You're
anytime,
a new.
Man.
Yeah, we're doing this again. All right, I gotta go. I was gonna wrap up the show early, and then the Bills hired a coach, and I was like, well, let's talk to Bubba.
Thing.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, I'll be Bubba the Angry.
All right, angry Bubba. All right,
take care, guys.
Thanks, dude. Bubba. We'll just go with Bubba. I've known him as Bubba. He's Brian, but I've known him as Bubba forever. Everybody else calls him Coach Brian. I just call him Bubba.